got our tomatoes all planted last week, and we're trying to kind of stay ahead a little bit, and we're getting our stakes in on tomatoes right now, and fixing the stake half runners also. And right now I'm grabbed the gas can. I'm gonna run down here and fire the pump up in case we accidentally hit the drip tape with the tomato stakes. We'll know it right away and we can fix it right away, not have problems later on. In a prior video, I did a little bit of explaining on how these air vents work on top of these risers, and there's not a lot of pressure built up yet, so I can mash the ball down. Once it gets up to pressure, it'd be pretty tough to mash that ball down because it'd have, I don't know, 18 pounds on it probably. But that's all there is to it. It's just a little ball that floats. And you can see there's still a little bit of air because it's still purging the air out of the sand filters is why it's doing that. So if you've been watching very long, you've heard me talk about this before. I've explained it before, but for the folks that are new, I'll talk about it again. So what we do is Florida weave our tomatoes, and so you only have to stake every other tomato plant. And these Cherokee Purple and Brandywine right here are not quite ready yet, but those big beef over there are about ready for their first string. You got to catch them before they start falling over, because it's a real pain in the butt if they get laid over on you. I'll show you how this system works a little bit. We used to use baler twine, and we would put a bungee cord around it and put like a weed eater strap on it to hang it off your side, and you get down to the end and the darn things would fall apart and you just have a big knot and you'd lose about 25% of your roll of baler twine. So this year I ordered this stuff, came from Rainflow. I don't know who ultimately makes it. I'm sure they just put their name on it. But this is tomato tine twine. And you can see it's got the belt loops on the side of it, so you can put it on your belt. And then the string comes out the top, and you should be able to use every last inch of this. And I bought a couple cases of it, and it's really not all that expensive. And I'll show you how this works. So that's pretty much all there is to it. You don't necessarily have to weave in between the tomatoes. You can just basically go down each side straight. That's easier and faster, but I like to weave in between them like you saw me doing there, because I believe it does a better job holding the plants upright. because if you just go down the sides, then they can still start falling over and collapsing this way. When you kind of do the crisscross like what I did here, it kind of semi-encapsulates the plants. And you can see what I was talking about, how it gets aggravating when they start falling over on you before you get them tied. These plants were a little gangly when we planted them. They were in the greenhouse a little bit longer than they should have been because it stayed cold for so long. But you see they've got some tomatoes on them, starting to have some fruit. So even on our hybrids, we sucker tomatoes at least up to the first fruit cluster. If you don't do that, then you're sacrificing the size of your fruit. You'll end up with tons of 6.6s, no jumbos. So I don't know, we may spend more time suckering than absolutely necessary, but we sucker them up pretty high. And our tomatoes, even the short hybrids, will get pretty tall, which is kind of good in my opinion because you don't have to bend over as far. We sucker tomatoes and we sucker eggplant. The only thing we grow along these lines that we don't sucker is peppers. We let them bush. I don't know, you can sucker peppers, and I think I may have tried it before, but I've found it doesn't seem to help us in any way. It just uses up a bunch of time. So we let them turn into great big bushes. But you got adequate help, things come together pretty quick. We've only been at this about 30 minutes. We've already got one block staked. Still got all these eggplant and peppers to stake, and we're gonna go ahead and put stakes in we're gonna go ahead and put stakes in the half-runner green beans while we're out here. And the way we do those, the only difference between the way we do tomatoes, the way we do half-runners, we don't tie them. We just basically build a fence. We'll come through and we'll put strings, just one string about every 6 inches up, plumb to the top of the post for our half-runners, and they will climb them. So this is our block of half-runners, our first planting. They're looking real good. They're still a long ways from running, but we're gonna go ahead and get the sticks in, get strings on. If you ever let them start running across the ground, you got a mess. They look pretty good. We got a decent stand. I do double row them, and we only put one trellis per row, and we just let both rows climb the same trellis. And they will do that. They'll find something to climb. It's kind of like ivy. So we'll put the trellis off to the side so we make sure we don't hit the drip tape, and the row on the other side, we'll find it and go up it, no problem. So I'm a big fan of not wasting anything, or not letting anything go to waste rather. So it's kind of a given. You're gonna have sticks that get broke. It happens. And instead of throwing away or burning these short sticks, we use short sticks for peppers, because peppers, unlike tomatoes, they don't really require a lot of support. The only thing that peppers need is when they get up big and start getting heavy, they need something to kind of give them a little support on the side. You can't plant peppers too thick really, so ideally you're trying to end up with a hedge of pepper plants. And the way we stake them is we put about 5 foot apart down each side, and we just put a couple of strings as they start to get big and start to have a bunch of fruit on them. So show you how that works. Well, we got finished staking tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant, and we are getting our row covers up. I don't like to leave them in the field too awful long after we get done using them. I try to get them in pretty quick because they're very costly, and I don't like for them to lay out here and rot essentially. So we're getting the sandbags and row covers up. About to call it a day actually before dark. You see we got we put in 3/4 of an acre of sticks this afternoon, so that's pretty good. And got the biggest tomato strung. Did not stake the half runners. We're gonna get there. But I got a question for y'all. I've had several questions lately about my irrigation system. So I was thinking about making a video here in the near future about how it works from all the way from the creek to the end of the drip tape. But I've been told by someone lately that I should make my videos more entertaining and less how-to. And so I tried that theory recently and had pretty good success with that video. So I don't know if what y'all think, what y'all want to see. Y'all want to learn from my mistakes and me continue kind of doing what I've been doing, just how a produce farm works, or would you rather it be just like a daily vlog style video? Let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate it. And I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.